In the space of just a few days, the United States has moved from having its sweeping tariffs struck down by the Supreme Court to announcing a new global tariff of up to 15%, alongside some increasingly aggressive rhetoric from the White House. So the obvious question is, will other countries retaliate? Now, here's the surprising part. So far, no one has. China says it's assessing. Europe wants clarity and says the US must honour its commitments. Japan and Korea are consulting. Australia has made clear it's unhappy, particularly because if the rate moves to 15% across the board, we lose the competitive advantage we had under last year's 10% baseline. But so far, no country has announced any counter-tariffs, and that matters because it tells us something about this moment in time. Governments appear to be exercising strategic patience. Why? Well, firstly, the new tariff sits under Section 122. It lasts 150 days unless Congress extends it, so it's temporary, at least for now. Secondly, existing trade deals haven't collapsed. Exemptions in key sectors are still in place. And thirdly, many countries have already adjusted to operating in a world where US tariffs exist. Supply chains have shifted, markets have diversified, and the shock factor is much lower than it was in 2018. That doesn't mean retaliation won't happen. It means the threshold hasn't yet been crossed. Retaliation becomes more likely if the tariff becomes permanent, if the rates exceed what trading partners believe was negotiated, or if politically sensitive sectors are targeted under broader authorities like Section 301 or expanded national security measures. But at the moment, we're in a holding pattern. Rhetoric out of Washington has escalated for sure, and markets have reacted to that volatility. But governments are waiting to see whether this is more short-term turbulence or a structural escalation. For Australian exporters, the issue isn't retaliation tomorrow. It's competitiveness. If everyone faces 15%, our relative edge disappears. For internationally scaling businesses, more broadly speaking, the key here is not to assume escalation, but instead to monitor trigger points. So watch formal executive orders. Watch whether Congress extends Section 122. Watch for new investigations under other trade statutes. Right now, the global response is restraint, but restraint's conditional. The world's choosing patience over retaliation. Patience in trade policy, however, is rarely permanent. And businesses that treat volatility as temporary often get caught when it isn't.